Hello students, this is Ejaz Sir's Maths Academy and we are studying chapter electricity. This is an in-text question given on textbook page number 216. This is question number 4. In the previous lecture we solved question number 1, 2 and 3. This is the next question, question number 4. Let us see what the question says. How can three resistors of resistances 2 ohm, 3 ohm and 6 ohm be connected to give a total resistance of 4 ohm? And the second question is 1 ohm. Let us solve for the first question. How can we connect the three resistors to get 4 ohm resistance? So if we connect 3 ohm and 6 ohm in parallel, we will get the parallel combination. If we connect like this, let us say this is 2 ohm and these two are in parallel. This is let us say 3 ohm and this one is 6 ohm. I know 3 and 6 will give us 2 ohm resistance and 2 plus 2 will become 4. That's why I am connecting them like this. Now let us give names to them. R1, let this resistance be called R2, let this resistance be called R3 as shown in the diagram. Let us now solve. We will first solve this parallel combination. The current is coming from here. Let us suppose the current is going here. Here the current will be divided into two branches. That's why these two branches are in parallel. So 1 upon R parallel is equal to which two are in parallel? R2 and R3 are in parallel. So it is 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. So 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 upon R2 is 3 ohm plus R3 is 6 ohm. So it will be 1 upon Rp is equal to cross multiplication 6 ones are 6 plus 3 ones are 3 divided by 3 into 6. So 1 upon Rp will be 6 plus 3 9 and 3 6 are 18. But we want to find Rp. So Rp will be 18 by 9. And in this way we get Rp is equal to 2 ohms. Okay. So instead of putting these two resistors, we will put only one resistance having value 2 ohm resistance, because what is their total? 2 ohm. What is their resultant? 2 ohm. So instead of these two, we will put only one resistance. This is our R1 which was unused. Now here we will connect a 2 ohm resistor and this will be given the name Rp because it is the result of parallel combination. Understood? See, this is Rp is equal to 2 ohms. Now these two seem to be connected in series because the same current is flowing through both the resistors R1 and Rp. So Rs, their resultant will be R1 plus Rp. So Rs will be equal to R1 is 2 ohms and Rp also is 2 ohms. So Rs is equal to 4 ohms. This shows that if we connect this R1 2 ohm resistance singly and R2 and R3 3 ohm and 6 ohm in parallel, and these two parallel are connected in series with 2 ohm resistance, we will get 4 ohm resistance. Understood? So this was the solution of the first part. So if the answer question is asked how will we write the answer, we will write the answer that 3 ohm and 6 ohm will be connected in parallel and their combination will be connected in series with the 2 ohm resistor. 3 ohm and 6 ohm resistors will be connected in parallel, and this combination will be connected in series with 2 ohm resistor. This is it. This is our solution. Okay, so I hope you understood it. You can pause the video and take a screenshot. Okay, the question also should be visible to you. This is our question. So the question with the solution. We have to solve for the second part now. So take a screenshot and note down the solution. Okay. Now we will solve for the second part. Second part. How can three resistors of resistances 2 ohm, 3 ohm and 6 ohm be connected to give a total resistance of 1 ohm? Now we want only 1 ohm resistance. So what do you think? We already know that 3 ohm and 6 ohm are connected in parallel, so they give 2 ohm resistance, and that 2 ohm resistance, if connected with 2 ohm resistance, we will get 1 ohm. Always remember, if two resistances of 10 ohm are connected in parallel, we will get 5 ohm resistance. If two resistors of resistances 20 are connected in parallel, we will get 10 ohm. If 40 are connected in parallel, we will get 20 if there are two resistors. So see, I have applied a logic, so I know very well. You will have to try it again, solving. Since I have been teaching it for a long time, I could easily judge. You will have to think over it. See this, suppose this is 2 ohm resistor, this is 3 ohm, and this is 6 ohm resistor. I think they should be connected, all the three should be connected in parallel to get 1 ohm resistance as resultant. Let us see, 1 upon R parallel is equal to 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus 1 upon R3. This is the solution. So it will be 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 upon R1 is 1 upon 2 ohm plus 1 upon 3 ohm plus 1 upon 6 ohm. So we want to bring 6 in the denominator. It is 1 upon Rp is equal to 1 by 2. We want to make it 6. So it will be, we will multiply it by 3. If we multiply the denominator, we will have to multiply the numerator also, because we cannot do injustice with the numerator. So this is 3 into 2. So it will be 1 into 2. You know, mathematics is already known to you. So 1 upon R parallel will be equal to, this is subscript Rp, resultant of resistance in parallel. So this will be 3 by 6 plus, this is 3 by 6 plus 2 by 6 plus 1 by 6. So what is the result? 1 upon Rp is equal to 3. We will write this only once, because the denominator is the same. 3 plus 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2 plus 1. And that gives us 1 upon Rp is equal to 6 by 6. So 1 upon Rp will be 1 ohm. 1 by 1 ohm. So Rp also will be 1 ohm. 1 by 1 ohm means 1 ohm. So what will be our answer? To get 1 ohm resistance from these three resistors, 2 ohms, 3 ohm and 6 ohm, we will have to connect all the three resistors in parallel. All the given resistors will have to, we can write it here, answer. All the given resistors should be connected in parallel, should be connected in parallel, should be connected in parallel to get 1 ohm resistance as resultant. So if you want to get 1 ohm resultant resistance, we will have to connect all the three in parallel. You can note down the solution. Pause the video and note down the solution. This is how we have solved the fourth question. Okay, see, this is the question given, in-text question given on page number 218. Question number 1 is a theory question. The question says, question number 1 says, why does the cord of an electric heater not glow while the heating element does? So inside the heater, the coil glows, the coil becomes red hot, while the wire, connecting wire, the cord does not become hot. What is the reason? Because the cord, the connecting wire is made up of copper, and copper does not have much resistance. That's why current easily flows through it. Electrons are not opposed much. And when this current goes into the coil of the coil of the heater is generally made up of nichrome wire, and the resistance of the nichrome wire is very high, so the kinetic energy of the electrons gets opposed again and again due to heavy resistance of the nichrome wire. Since the kinetic energy of the electrons is opposed, that kinetic energy is converted into heat energy according to Joule's law of heating effect of electric current. So H is, what is the law? H is equal to I square RT. So if the resistance, since the resistance of the nichrome wire is very high, the heat produced also is very high and it gets heated. That was the first question on page number 218. It was in text question. The second question is a numerical question, and we will solve this numerical question. See the question. Compute the heat generated while transferring 96,000 coulomb of charge in 1 hour through a potential difference of 50 volt. Let us solve it. We know what is given. We have to find the heat generated, and we know the formula for heat generated is H is equal to I square RT joule. The SI unit of heat is joule. So H is equal to I square RT. For that we need, but have they given resistance in this numerical question? No. So we will do one thing. We will write it as H, I square will be written as I into R into T. So we can write I. What about I into R? It is V, because Ohm's law, what does Ohm's law say? Ohm's law is V is directly proportional to I. Increase the voltage and current also will increase. Voltage is direct, potential difference is directly proportional to current if the resistance is the same. So when we remove this proportionality sign, we get V is equal to IR into I. So instead of I into R, we have put V. Okay, you know it. So current, what is the definition of current? Electric current I is defined as the ratio of charge to time. Electric current is the ratio of charge upon time. So what is electric current? The rate of flow of charge. So electric current, but remember everything must be in SI units because we are bringing the answer in SI units. So charge is given to be 9612300 coulomb. And what is the SI unit of time? Remember, we have to use time in hours only in one type of numerical questions, and that type is when we have to calculate the electricity bill, when we have to find the number of units of electricity consumed. Otherwise, everywhere in the entire syllabus, always remember the SI unit of time is second. So how much time is given here in the numerical question? 1 hour. And do you know in 1 hour there are 3600 seconds. 1 minute has 60 seconds and 1 hour has 60 minutes. 60 into 60 will be 3600 seconds. So these two zeros will get cancelled, and I is equal to 960 by 36. Now do a little bit of mathematics. 960 divided by 36. 12. I think 12 threes are 36. And 12 5s are 60, 12 6s are 72, 12 7s are 84, 12 8s are 96. So it will be 80. Here it will be 80 by 3 amperes. This is current. We will put it directly, because if we solve it further, it will the answer will be in points. So it is H is equal to I. Electric current is 80 by 3 into potential difference is given to be 50 voltage, and time, time is already, even if we did not time is again the same story, 3600 seconds. Or we could do one thing, Time. So let us not solve it. Let us try to make it even simpler. We can write H is equal to, instead of electric current, we can write charge upon time into V into T. Because what is the definition of electric current? Electric current is charge upon time, rate of flow of charge per unit time. So this time will get cancelled. So H is equal to Q into V. So H is equal to Q is 96000 charge into voltage is 50. So H will be, add the zeros 1, 2, 3 and this one is 4. 5, 6 are 30, carry 3. 5, 9 are 45 plus 3, 48. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 48 lakh joules. This much amount of heat will be produced. Have you seen what we have done? We have written H is equal to I square RT in joules. This is Joule's law of heating effect of electric current. So H is equal to I square can be written as I multiplied by I into R into T. So instead of I into R, we will write V. Why? Because R is not given, resistance is not given. That's why we will use Ohm's law. And instead of R into I or I into R, we can write V. So it becomes IVT. And they have not given current directly. So instead of current, we will write charge upon time. So charge upon time will get cancelled. So we get only Q into V, and this is our answer. And here, don't forget to write the answer in words, because sometimes they give marks, they give a half mark to this step. So we will write heat produced will be 48 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 joules. The heat produced will be 48 lakh joules. Understood? So that was our solution of question number 2 on page 218 of our CBSE text, of our textbook. Okay, CBSE textbook. See students, this is the next question given on page number 220 of our CBSE textbook. So the question says, the first question is a theory question, that's why we are not dealing with it. You know these questions are very easy. Let us deal with this numerical question. An electric motor takes 5 amperes from a 220 volt line. So the voltage supplied by the power station line is 220 volt. Let us write down the given data. Given voltage is 220 volt and current used by the motor is 5 amperes, and we have to calculate power. So you know, though we don't need to derive it, I will still derive it for you. Power is equal to work upon time. Don't derive while solving the numerical question. If you remember the formula, that's a very good thing. So power is equal to work upon time, but work is equal to I square RT. You will say, no sir, H is equal to I square RT. So SI unit of work is joule, SI unit of heat is joule. So if two quantities have the same unit, we can use them interchangeably. Otherwise, shall I derive this V is equal to W is equal to I square RT? See, potential difference is defined as the work done to move a unit positive charge from one point to another point. Therefore, W is equal to V into Q. By Ohm's law, instead of V, we can write IR. And what is Q? Q is I into T, because electric current I is Q upon T. So Q is equal to I into T. So it becomes I into I is I square R into T, and this is W. Understood? This TT will get cancelled. So you can write power is equal to I square R. So power is equal to I square R will be I into IR. Power is equal to I. What is IR? V according to Ohm's law. Ohm says V is directly proportional to I. So V is equal to constant into I. V is equal to R into I. R into I and I into R are one and the same thing. So power is equal to current into voltage. What is the formula for power? Current into voltage. So we don't have to derive it. I did only for your convenience, so that you should remember it. So what is our formula for power? Power is equal to current multiplied by voltage. So power is equal to 5 ampere current and voltage is 220 volts. So power is equal to 22 into 5, let us say 2 5s are 10, carry 1, 2 5s are 10, 11. So it is 1100 watts. What is the power of the motor? 1100 watts. Now we want to find out the energy consumed by it, means the number of units consumed by the motor in 2 hours. The motor is being used for 2 hours to draw water from the well. Suppose we are using the motor to pull water from underground. We are using a motor pump, and that motor pump is, or it may be the motor of a cooler also. So we are using the motor for 2 hours. How much power will it consumed? So let us see. We know power is equal to work upon time. Therefore work will be PT Usha, power into time. So work, instead of work we can write electrical energy, because SI unit of work is joule. Electrical energy has SI unit joule. So here their units are the same, and we have solved such numerical questions. In these type of numerical questions, remember, don't measure time in SI units and don't measure power also in SI units. The SI unit of power is watt and the SI unit of time is second. But I have already told you about BOTU, BOTU, BOTU. BOTU is Board of Trade Unit. MSEB or SNDL measures electrical power in, see, they measure electrical power in kilowatt and they measure time in hour. So here we will write work is equal to, how much is the power? 1100 watt into how much is the time? They are using the motor for 2 hours. So work is equal to, remember in such new always measure whenever we have to calculate electricity bill or number of electricity units consumed. At that time we measure power in kilowatt and we measure time in hour. So we will measure power in kilowatt. So to measure power in kilowatt we have to divide it by 1000, and here we can write kilo, into time is already written in hours, so we don't need to convert it. Here it will become 11 by 10 means 1.1 kilowatt into 2 hours. So work done, sorry I am writing work again and again. Let me write units of electrical energy. Units of electrical energy. And that will be 1.1 into 2 will be 2.2. We will write number together, 1.1 multiplied by 2, and here it will be kilowatt into hour. So this will become 2.2. Kilowatt into hour is called unit. इलेक्ट्रिकल यूनिट, whenever we say हमारे घर में 5 यूनिट जले हैं, हमारे घर में 100 यूनिट जले हैं. So what does the unit mean? Kilowatt into hour is called unit by MSEB. For MSEB or SNDL, for entire our country, kilowatt into hour is called unit. So it will be 2.2 units. So we will write the power of the motor is, this is answer in words. The power of the motor is 1100 watts, and it will consume 2.2 units in 2 hours. They could ask us to calculate the electricity bill also. If they had given calculate electricity bill at the rate of 5 rupees per unit. So if the electricity bill is 5 rupees per unit, then we would multiply 2.2 by 5, and that will give us 2.2 by 5. 2.2 multiplied by 5 will give us 5 to the 10, carry 1, 5 to the 10, 11, 110. So electricity bill for using the motor for 2 hours would have been 11 rupees. Point also will be there. So that would be 11 rupees. If we use this motor for 2 hours, and if the electricity bill comes at the rate of 5 rupees per unit, then we would have to pay 11 rupees for using the motor. But since they have not asked us to calculate the electricity bill, We will not worry about the bill. These are the days of lockdown. Probably they may not give us the electricity bill. All right. So that was about it. So let us stop here. Have a nice day.